Hello, here I am once again. Today I want to share some goodies that I purchased in a wonderful little shop that I managed to get to visit to in London when I was there on a business trip a few days ago. I flew out there in the morning, returned in the evening, and actually managed to get to spend some me time during that, and I was delighted. It wasn't something I had hoped I could get to do, but it was a pleasant surprise being able to do it. So hang on, give me 2 seconds, let me get my stuff together and I'll show you what we've got. See you in a minute. Right, so what did I buy? First of all, I wasn't planning when I went to London to visit any esoteric shop. Now I knew there was one that two friends of mine on Tarot Tube here and on the Tarot Facebook pages had said they were meeting up and going to Atlantis Bookshop, esoteric bookshop in London. And I asked for details as to where it was, just in case I managed to get the opportunity to go there. As it happens, I was in London. I had a couple of hours before my flight home, and I managed to hop in a cab and get to the other side of London, do a little bit of shopping, and return in time for my flight. I do apologise, I meant to turn this phone down so that it wouldn't bother us. So I turned it down properly now. So if you see some smoke going across here, I've got incense lit here. So what did I buy? What drew me in? Well, I walked in and I browsed around and I did spot immediately the Obsidian Mirrors, and I like Obsidian and I like Obsidian Mirrors. I have one and it's extremely small, it's about that big, so scrying is quite difficult with it. This one was in a cabinet and it just caught my eye. It has a little stand here, and this is the Obsidian Mirror. There you can see the nice shininess on it, and this obsidian has been ethically mined. Only so much is taken from the ground so that not all of it is removed, and it was all explained to me by the owner of the shop. So this is my Obsidian Mirror, and I am looking forward to actually sitting down and scrying with it for a time. Let's see how we get on. So that was my first purchase. Well, at this point I hadn't purchased it. At this point it had caught my eye and was sitting winking at me on the shelf. But I was browsing tarot and I was browsing books, and I came across this box. Now the box was sitting on the shelf just like that. It had no cellophane on it and no price, so I just took it down, handed it over, said, "Can you tell me how much this tarot deck is?" Because I'd read the back and I thought, oh, I quite like the sound of that. So I took it over. I didn't open it up because I don't like opening stuff up. I feel a bit cheeky doing that, and I think if anything goes missing then it's my fault, and I didn't know if the cards were wrapped inside or not. Anyway, I was told it was £20, and you know, I thought, well, that seems to be good for a tarot and kit, and you know, all the cards are there. And so I put that to one side on the table, so can I leave it there while I continue to browse, and got two other items and the mirror and went back to pay. It wasn't until I was at the airport that, and I had 5 minutes to just over, you know, a little while to sit down, grab a sandwich and wait for it to be called for my flight. And I had taken this out and decided to have a look at the box. So when I opened it up and took out the book and realised there was a bookmark inside and it said the book is damaged, but all the cards are there. So I'm wondering if this was actually used in the shop as something for people to sort of browse through, as you know, sometimes they might have one deck that's open for people to look through and have a look at the cards, you know, before buying it, and then they get a sealed set off the shelf. Well, this was the last set there, so that's what I'm assuming it is, because it's only one section where the pages are just coming loose here, so I'm going to glue those down. That's not a problem because the book hasn't been marked. That line there is from me opening it up and having a browse through it. So I'm going to read the blurb on this box for you. This is the Illuminati Tarot, not to be mistaken for the Tarot Illuminati by Kim Huggins, which is a favourite deck of mine and a very much a go-to deck. This is the Illuminati Tarot by Casey de Hamel and illustrated by Bob Greyvenstein. And it's the keys of secret societies. There's an awful lot of use of elements and symbols within this deck. This is the front of the box, and they have, you know, when they have just the cards, they're quite shiny and texture's quite different to the rest of the deck. And it's the same here on the spine, and on the back we have some more cards here. And I love the way they do it, makes the cards sort of stand out. Now the artwork on them is quite nice, I have to say. So let's have a read of what it says here. It's published by Schiffer, and it's a 78 card tarot deck and guidebook that studies 5 historically significant secret societies. Secret societies are Priory of Zion, the Rosicrucians, Martinists, the Golden Dawn, and Freemasons. It examines history, imagery, meaning, and keywords. The Illuminati reflects several organisations commonly known as secret societies. Explore via this lavishly illustrated 78 card tarot deck and unique comprehensive guidebook the complex tapestry of 5 historically significant secret societies and the universal thread that weaves itself through all of them, the tarot. The Priory of Zion are the majors, the Rosicrucians cups, the Freemasons swords, the Martinists coins, and the Golden Dawn are wands. All are all clandestine fraternities that have not only wielded direct influence on Western mysticism, but have also exerted global influence both politically and socially. In this comparative study of fellowship and tarot, examine the history and imagery relating to each card, in-depth card meanings, and specific keywords that will assist you along your own mysterious path. How will your life connect with the mystifying, at times cloak and dagger, world of secret societies? Now, in the book, there's nothing on the back, no blurb on the back. There's a nice introduction, and there's an example of, you know, each element, how it's associated with its own metaphysical characteristics based on ancient Neoplatonic universal truths developed by classic Greek philosophers. The alchemical 4 humours have been directly linked to the tarot since the 17th century and very possibly since before the Renaissance. So that would be continental, Victorian, modern, poker and element. So continental is cups or chalices, Victorian it's cups, modern poker it's heart, and the element is water. And that gives you the list here in the book. You also then have the 4 humours, which would be like phlegmatic, melancholic, choleric and sanguine. All the different sort of good qualities, cold, wet, dry, hot, wet, etc. The elements, the attributes and the seasons. And it goes in quite deeply into that. We do have sections that discuss the secret societies. So we've got Tripping the Royal Road, Within These Hallowed Halls, the cards, the Priory of Zion, the Major Arcana, the Minor Arcana, and then it goes into the each chapter on the coins, swords, wands, and the cups. We have a conclusion and a bibliography in the back. Now, I haven't read right through this. I've only dipped in it since I've had it since last week because I've been doing other bits and bobs. What I have noticed about the cards, now when I had a look at the cards, I noticed they were unwrapped and they had been sort of gone through, they were totally mixed up, and in a way I was a bit disappointed because I thought, oh gosh, these have been well and truly handled, but they're all in impeccable condition, so really it's not a big thing. So I have cleansed my cards using my incense, which I have burning here, and I've used my sage on them as well. And I have shuffled them, reshuffled them, rearranged them, and given them a good old workout. Now, there are a couple of things I've noticed with this deck. And I've noticed that they haven't kept the numbering of the pick cards uniform. For instance, on 3 of the different suits, they have used Roman numerals. However, in 2 of those suits, they have used V, I, I for 9, and in 1 they've used the IX, which is how we, when we're taught Roman numerals, are taught how to write 9. It would be your I and your X, so it's, you know, whereas your 11 would be X and I. So they've used the difference there, and then in the 4th suit they've used modern numbering 1 through to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they've not kept that uniform. They have used one suit where I say they have used the Roman numerals as we know them, where you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which would be your V and your, you know, your 1 and your V. In other cards, on the other 2, they've used 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why they have not kept it uniform. I find that a little bit different, quirky, and I've only paged through and dipped in. It might give me an explanatory note somewhere in here as to why they have done that. It could be the fact that if we were to just look quickly at the minors, we see that, just bear with me, I'm just trying to find the minors here. The pip cards, well, first of all, our court cards are called different names entirely. The court cards are the the novice of cups, or sorry, the novice, the initiate, the adept, and the mage. So that's the novice, the initiate, the adept, and the mage. Those are the 4 court cards. Now, for cups, for instance, the cups are based on the Rosicrucian alchemy of Eudes, Picard, and Manley. So if you look, the writing's not very clear. It's very, very difficult to read, in the sense that it's whether it's the print or whether the letters aren't joined properly, I'm not quite sure. But the pips are based on for cups are based on the Rosicrucians. The coins, the pips there, are based on the Martinist philosophy of Pappus. Okay, and that's the suit where they use normal everyday numerals that we're used to. The other 2 are based on, let me just find it here, minor arcana. Cups I've told you about. Coins I've told you about. Oh gosh, just trying to find the others. Wands are based on the Golden Dawn, and that's based on the magical interpretations of the Tarot de Marseille by the Golden Dawn. And then finally, swords. The pips are based on the Masonic formulations of Freemasons Colin Brown and A.E. Waite. So it's really quite, whether the numerals that they've used are what were used by those secret societies of the time, I don't know, but that is what it's saying to me. That's the only sort of logic I can put with it. Other than that, I don't find there being any logic to them not having a uniformity, because that can be quite confusing, particularly if people are not au fait with the Roman numerals, because having 2 different symbols, hold on a second, is this 9 or is, you know, what's going on? So let's go on now and have a look at the mages. The mages, we have the Fool. I do apologise, they're extremely glossy cards, extremely glossy. So there's our Fool, our Magician, and we have Hebrew alphabet here and symbols. High Priestess, the Empress, Now there's lots of colour, there's expressive faces, there's lots of symbolism. If we look here at the Emperor, for instance, although we've got the Hebrew symbol there, we've got a sun here. You know, there is quite, there's colour. Colour is taken into consideration too. Numbers, symbolism. The Lovers looks like Jesus, Mary and Mary Magdalene. The Chariot. Now, here on the Chariot, we have the symbolism, we have the name, we have the Roman numerals V11 for 7. We have a red apple and a blue apple in this fella's hand. It looks like Isaac Newton. And we have the Roman numeral 2 engraved on the tree. But nothing, if you didn't have the name Chariot there, you would not know that that was your major arcane of the Chariot. Justice is seen here with the balance of the scales. We still have that. That's been kept in. The Hermit is beautiful. I do like this Hermit. And also what I like about the Hermit, that besides having our Hermit having the lamp, I love his green cape, it's beautiful, but it's almost like there's a veil here, the thinning of the veil. It's almost like, you know, the meeting of two worlds. So would that be our inner world, whether it's here or here, you know? Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, and you can see the word tarot in the Wheel of Fortune there. Strength. The Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man there, we're using astrological symbols here. We have the Libra sign engraved into the tree there. Death. The death looks like the death of one of our popes. Temperance. The Devil. The devil is a head on a plate. Now, is that symbolic of John the Baptist? His head was chopped off and served on a platter. But we see on the skull here of the devil is the inverse pentagram. We have the tower, and the tower here we have the astrological symbol. We have, I think it's a symbol for spirit as well. We have quite a few, a lot of symbol here. It also looks like we've got one of the knights here, the knights, one of the crusaders, you know, in our card there. Then we have the star. Again, here within this, we have a jug here, and the symbolism on the jug. I'm actually going to have to get my magnifying glass to see the symbolism on there. But there we have the stars, and they too are making up a constellation, one of the constellations. The moon, we have them. We've got the symbol for Aquarius here. We've also got, is it Yod? I think, I'm not sure. But it's, the image is where they're, and taking it as Jesus, they're removing Jesus or putting Jesus into his tomb, either the removing or the putting in. You can see the blood flowing from the cut in his side. So there's a lot of these are historically religious images and iconography, which is quite a meeting of both the mysticism, religion, and the secrecy of the secret societies that this has been based on, and the research carried out by the people that have created this. Now, here we have the sun, and we know the sun as being card number 19. And if you look at the way they've written 19, normally we would have 1, X, X. Okay, but here we've got XV1111 or I, because they are letters at the end of the day. Here we have judgment, and again we've got our astrological symbol, our Hebrew alphabet, and our judgment here looks like your man looks fairly green in the face. So, you know, whether he's being judged and people have been judged before him, you know, looking at a headstone. because it's not like we would see in our tradition where there's sort of spirits rising up from the grave and looking back. And then we have the world, and unusually so, our world looks very much like it would be a saint, possibly Mary, Our Lady, because she's holding what looks to be like the Sacred Heart of Jesus in her hand, a heart with a flame coming from the top, and it's encompassed in a briar, which is what Jesus had, the thorn of crowns around his head, and that is the symbol for the Sacred Heart of Jesus. But this lady also appears to be pregnant. Again, quite unusual in our tarot when we compare it to other decks that we read with. So those are the majors, and this is the design on the back. It's the cardstock's pretty good. It's quite a chunky deck, and I wouldn't think that it would be suitable for riffle shuffling because it's not very bendy, but it is highly glossy, as you can see. So we're going to look through next is the suit of cups. And here we have our Ace of Cups, and you can see the cup. And this is, I think this is the suit that's based on the Rosicrucians. Just bear with me. I shall tell you that now. Cups, cups. Yes, the Rosicrucian alchemy of EUDES, Eudes, Picard and Manly. So we can see, when I look at that, you can see the symbol for the Rosicrucians above the alcove of the church there, and there's the cup, okay, and the Rosicrucian symbol is just there. So that's our Ace of Cups. Here we have our Two of Cups. I do, now like I said, these are more like a pip deck as such. It's sort of a combination of a pip and a pictorial system, where we have the roses and lilies, we have light and dark, night and day, sun and moon. So this lot of symbolism just in those there. Here for the Three of Cups, and we know as our Three of Cups is celebratory, but what I like about this, we have an egg there, and our egg is often the symbolism of fertility or of something new, of where we come from, and expectation, celebration of birth, etc. We've got grapes here, which is wine, the drink of the gods, you know. So here we have our Three of Cups. Our Four of Cups. Here we go, our Four of Cups. And, you know, we don't see somebody sitting in the doldrums. Here we see some, you know, a creature taking flight, an eagle taking flight, which is a nice image. And again, the eagle, behind the eagle, there is that egg. So it's as though we've gone from celebrating. Now, has the eagle come from the egg? Is the eagle protecting the egg? We have roses beneath, lilies above. You know, growth, moving on. Not sitting on your laurels, really, as we see in our other decks. Here's our Five of Cups. Six of Cups. We have a beautiful dove. We have a cross symbol there, looks like the iron cross, doesn't it, with a rose. Seven of Cups, again we have got the light and dark with the silver and gold. We have a dove, we have a rose. Now the Eight of Cups, we have here the alternating silver and gold cups, but we also have an Ouroboros that is multicoloured. It actually has all the colours of the chakra symbols in them. So there we go there. In the 9, and note the number of the 9 here is VIII. Ten. Then we have the Novice of Cups. We have the Initiate of Cups. the Adept of Cups, and finally the Mage of Cups. And strangely enough here, we know that Cups is emotion, we know that Cups is the element of water, yet surrounding this cup we have a flame or fire. So is this our mage being deceptive, being clever, creating something, sort of, albeit he's surrounded by water here, why are we seeing a flame? That would be interesting to read up on. Now we have our suit of swords, and this suit of swords would be the Masonic Lodge. As far as I can see, we have the set square and the compass there, the drawing set square in the brickwork there, and there we have our sword in the stained glass window, and that's the ace, or yeah, ace of swords. Here we have our 2, 3. Now we have the 4 of swords here, and I'm just going to show you, comparing it to the 4 of cups. If you look at the numbering on the 4 of cups, we have the 4 eyes, I, and here we have the I and V, I, V. So in the suit of swords, they have used a different form, or an alternative way of writing 4 in Roman numerals. Now 5, 6 of swords, and here we see that balance, you know, moving from stormy waters here into much calmer waters. So we do have that pictorial image of storminess and calmness. You know, this here, it looks like it's in dark, turbulent water, yet here we have the sun and smooth water. And our symbol for sun there. Seven of cups. Of swords, sorry, 7 of swords. 8 of swords. Our 9, and here they've used the I and the X as opposed to V and 4 eyes. And our 10 of swords. Then we have our novice. Our initiate. Our adept of swords. And our mage of swords. So there are 2 examples, the 4 and the 9 on the different Roman numerals. And if we were to look at the mages, 4 in the mage is also represented with 4 eyes, and 9 is represented with the X, V, 1 I. Then we're coming to our suit of wands. And our suit of wands, bear with me, we've had the Rosicrucians, we have had the Masons. Wands are what did I say we were using for wands? I can't for the life of me think. And I can't for the life of me put my hand on it every time it goes. Ah, here we go, wands. Based on the magical interpretations of the Tarot de Marseille by Golden Dawn initiates, McGregor, Mathers and Israel Regardi. So this is in the Golden Dawn, which is very interesting. And here we have the symbol of the Golden Dawn. You have the triangle with the sun and the crucifix above it there. And that's our Ace of Wands. Our 2, 3. The 4 in this goes back to using the eyes, the letter I's, or the wands. 5, 6, 7. These are definitely pips. 8, 9 goes back to using the V1111, and 10. And then we have our Novice of Wands, our Initiate of Wands, and the Initiate of Wands would be great for the Chariot. Our Adept of Wands, and our Mage of Wands. It's actually quite a powerful feeling on that card, actually. Very powerful. And then finally we have our suit of coins, which are the Martinists. And the Martinists have the symbol of the star, like the Star of David, the 6-pointed star, as opposed to a pentagram which has the 5 points. The Star of David, or the star symbol, has 6 points. And here's our ace. And in the background you can also see the Eiffel Tower. 2 of coins, not to be mixed up with the 4 of coins, being that there's 4 coins on the page. The 2 that we're looking at have matching symbols, and so we're looking at balance. So putting 4 on there takes it slightly out of balance, doesn't it? Our 3 has 6 coins on it, so whether we are looking at the coins reversed side, and we're looking at coins above the ground, coins below the ground, if we go back to here, above the ground, below the ground, is that one side, and then flipping them over, looking at the other. The symbolism on them is going to be the key to understanding them. However, when you go into the book to look at the pips, there's very little information on each individual pip card. Now, when you're looking at the courts, there's quite a bit on each, on the initiate, on the novice, the initiate, the adept, and the mage. They have about a page each. But when it comes to the actual numbered pips, all there are a few keywords. So if we look for the coins, here we go. And we were to look at the 2 of coins, for instance. There we are. This is the section of the book that is loose. So I'll take that out so that we can just have a look quickly, and it's easier to hold. So there we have the 2 of coins in the book, and we have our 2 coins there and our 2 coins here, above ground and below ground. And it states, difficulty balancing financial matters, confusion in the home, discord, anxiety, obstacles, opposing forces, try to reach an agreement, absence of harmony, lack of cooperation, and insecurity. I think I would have to go deeper than that and research what each of the symbols are, because that does not give you an indication of what the symbols mean. It doesn't give you an indication as to why there are 4 coins in there instead of 2, and also it does not give you any form of indication as to why there are one set of symbols on the first 2 coins and completely different set of symbols on the other 2, and even those other 2 don't match each other. So that's something that will have me questioning things, I have to be honest, because I find that we don't want to make things more confusing than they already are. But then we have, like I said, the 3, the same issue with the 3. Now for the 4 of coins, again, you could mistake it for the 5 if you weren't looking for the numbers. Also, let's get back to the numbers. Here we're using our normal numerals. So this is another thing that's making this very different. We have moons on our 4 coins, and then one here that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 symbols on. So there's nothing in the book to indicate what the symbols are, and there's nothing in the book to say why they have put 5 coins here. Our 5, we have 7 coins on the page. So we're looking at the ones with all the same symbols, and again 2 more down here with completely different symbols on them. Our 6 of coins at least just has the 6 on. 7 of coins, 8 of coins, our 9 of coins, and our 10 of coins. And this is a sort of resemblant of the Wheel of Fortune underneath it as well. Then we have our novice, our initiate, our adept, and our mage. So this Illuminati Tarot is one deck where I feel that actually reading the book beforehand will be beneficial, because I think if we get a little bit more insight into the secret societies and the fact that each suit is based on a different secret society, as are the mages, it will enlighten us as to, you know, it may, not will, it may enlighten us as to why there's different symbolism, why there are different numbers used, etc., etc. Now, putting these cards back in here, the box has those annoying little loose bits in it, so I'm just going to pop them back quickly. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the creators. Casey de Hamel is a former member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, is an initiate of the ancient mystical order of the Rosicrucians, is an ordained minister. She's a descendant from the lineage of American Freemasons, reaching as far back as colonial America. Mr. Hamel has been an avid student and collector of tarot since 1990. She's written a running column of the American Tarot Association Quarterly Journal regarding collectible tarot, and has amassed a selection of historic decks. She fancies herself an investigator of tarot's clouded origins, alternative aspects and mysterious historical implications, visiting many European tarot hotbeds. Bob Greyvenstein is the illustrator, and he's a graduate of Pretoria Technikon, earning a B.Tech of Fine Arts. Born in South Africa, Bob Greyvenstein is a dynamic illustrator and distinctive graphic designer, and he has a website at www.bobgravenstein.com, and that might be worth a visit. If I have any questions, I will nip on to the website and drop an email if my questions haven't been answered when consulting the oracle. So that's the Illuminati Tarot, and I do think it's going to give me something to chew on. The other tarot deck I purchased, and I won't go through the whole deck, is the Zillich Tarot in a tin. Okay. The German watercolour artist Christine Zillich explores mythological, astrological and Kabbalistic symbolism in this intriguing Thoth-style tarot deck, and it includes 78 cards, a 60-page booklet written by Johann von Kirschner, and it is the Zillich Tarot. Here we have our 60-page little booklet. It's all in English, so if we were to go to, say, just picking swiftly from the minors, what I have to smile about, if we look at coins, now we were looking at the 2 of coins, and I just read out a list of keywords on the Illuminati Tarot. If we were to look at our 2 of coins in the Thoth deck, well, we can't actually say that's an RWS, a Thoth, or a Marseille. It's got the pips of a Marseille, but because it's linked to so many secret societies, it's a mishmash of everything, which is actually quite mysterious and something that can either be confusing, will either be like Marmite, will either love it or hate it. And here we have the Two of Discs on this one, Jupiter and Capricorn, spotted serpents, balance 4 coloured circles. This is on the Two of Discs. Balance 4 coloured circles representing the 4 elements. The leaping fawn stands for transformation through movement. He passes through strength and weakness, profit and loss, polarization and unity. He continuously changes energy and is always searching for something new, but there's balance. We've got our light, our dark, the elements, strength and weakness, profit, loss. So we're talking about balance, which there wasn't a lot of in the Two of Coins there, which is what we generally see in a lot of our decks. Now, these are not in order because I have shuffled them because I've been playing around with them, and so I'm not going to go through the entire deck. I'm just going to show you this because of the art, and I bought these because of the watercolour art that's been used in it. I just happen to love watercolours, and this sort of ticks the box. 8 of Discs, and we have on the minds, we have a keyword. We've got prudence here on the 8 of Discs, and if we were to look at the 8 of Discs in an RWS deck, we're sort of looking at hard work to progress, to further ourselves, nailing ourselves down and focusing on our task. Where here we're sort of looking at prudence, you know, be prudent, don't be sort of overindulgent, you know. 9 of Discs is gain. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This, you can almost, it's a very grey day here today, and this is really giving me that feeling of sunshine. 10 of Discs, and we're looking at wealth. There's a lot there of discs. Look at our Princess of Discs there. And the watercolour is so gentle on the eye. I really do like it. Look at our 4 of Wands. Look at that. The 5 of Wands indicating strife. And albeit we can't actually see strife as such, we're looking at this knowing the 5 of Wands, you know, it's people pulling in all sorts of directions. If we were to look at RWS, you can tell I'm more RWS orientated. But this here, strife, the greyness, the colour palette that's being used on here, does indicate that sort of lower tone, that sort of, you know. And here we have our 6 of Wands, which is victory as we know it, you know. Isn't that beautiful? It's like, it's the phoenix rising from the ashes, you know. It's, the colours are so rich and beautiful, yet gentle on the eye. They're not sort of in your face, whoa, you know. Our 7 of Wands, valour, bravery, you know, standing up, leading the way. 8 of Wands, again, swiftness, very similar there to the RWS. Swiftness, everything happening. The Fool, and doesn't this Fool, this reminds me, it really does give me that feeling of somebody new, fresh out of school or college, or somebody just saying, do you know what, I need a change and I'm going to head to the sunshine. I'm taking the sunshine with me, and that's going to be through an attitude of positivity, exploration and excitement starting out, you know. Even ourselves at, you know, our grey-haired stage of life, we sometimes take on something new and think, oh, and we have that excitement of somebody new starting out on doing something different. And here we have our Magician, the Magus, okay. Look at that, just stunningly beautiful. I really do like this. And here we have our sword, our wand, our cup and our disc. And because it's so beautifully and artistically done, look at that. There's the disc or the coin, our cup, chalice, sword, and at the far end there, our wand. It's just so beautiful. Our High Priestess, look at that. Our light and dark. Look at that, using our intuition with the purple shades. Trust your intuition, trust your gut feeling, but also you have that balance of light and dark above and below. The Empress, watering, nourishing. Look at that. So as you can see, this is, if you're into watercolours and you like the gentleness of them and you know, they're just so easy on the eye, I would definitely recommend this. I am toying with the idea of trying to get another tin version of this, because I'd love to take off the names and create a framed collage of this deck, because not for the fact that it's tarot, but for the fact the watercolor paintings are just so pretty. So they put it this way, they feed your own creative well. They give you that urge to want to go out and experiment with watercolor, to get your paint, get those tones, get the different light to dark, heavy and light, you know. It's just, I'm just in awe of Christine Zillich, who has created this. Oh, and the backs on them are just beautiful. As much as I like watercolour, I do paint with watercolour, I like creating my own things. I would not have this woman's talent at all. I would love it, but I don't have it. I do my own little thing in my own little way. It would look very childish and immature in comparison to this. This, I do apologise if I'm raving on about it, but I really do love the art. And so my mind is now made up, sitting here and now. I am going to get a second deck of this. I am going to trim off the names. I'm going to round the corners, and I'm going to put them in a box frame, I think. In a nice box frame, where I have a collection then of the pictures on my reading room wall. Look at that for the Prince of Wands. Again, it's albeit he's the prince, it's very majestic, and it's symbolic again of a person and a phoenix. You've got the flame, there's a sort of bird-like head on the wand. And the feathers. It's just, oh God, it's beautiful. Look at that, the Three of Cups, right? It's abundance. Just look at the abundance of floral design and colour and beauty. My God, you could just eat them, they're lovely. Seven of Discs, failure. Look at that. Now, Seven of Discs, if we were looking at an RWS, we wouldn't necessarily see failure. You know, it'd be sort of nurturing your hard work in order to get it to grow, working and toiling in order to see success. But I wouldn't say that it would necessarily failure, whereas in this Thoth system, we're looking here, look at our owl. Our owl is trapped. He's trapped by briars, and he's almost stuck behind the briars of that castle, a bit like Sleeping Beauty, really, you know. But our owl looks like he's gone on a mission and hasn't been able to complete it because of being caught up there in the briars. The Devil card here is rather but the use of colour and symbolism. Just look at this. Look at the use of colour. Now, in the shadows, you can see that phallic symbol of Thoth, okay? But it's so discreet. It's not sort of in your face. There you go. There's a large phallic symbol that's going to either offend or just be stuck in your face. Look at that. It's much more subtle, yet I feel the card gives us more in the way of meaning through colour, through the, look at the giant horns on the devil, look at the eye and the stomach, just look at all the symbols within that, and like that you just get that sort of feeling from it. And that is one I would actually use within the collage that I want to create with another set of these cards. I just want to just go here to the little white book and just have a quick glance. The devil here. The esoteric symbol is the Eye of Horus. That's what we saw in the stomach. Let me just grab the card again. Here we go. So I'll read what it says here and you can have a good old glance at the card there. The esoteric symbol is the eye of Horus, the ancient Egyptian illuminator. This eye sits at the navel as a willing eye. Whenever it weeps, only tears of joy. They intoxicate like wine. In wine there lies truth, goes the saying, except whatever the beautiful mouth of the goat utters is extreme, haughty, defamatory, blasphemy, and nameless wantonness. Leaning against a giant phallus sits the devil, legs spread apart, wearing 3 breasts, neither man nor woman, yet both. Furthermore, it is part animal. He is a faun. His flute playing inebriates the senses, which soon tumbles into the depths like a stream of lust. Unscrupulously, the devil inverts truth, leads towards the light, and behind it. The devil paints grey life with multicoloured forms. His creativity turns heads. He opens gates to the earth. He is the master of time. In a reading, nothing is forbidden or restricted. Yet, if you wander too far into the darkness in the name of freedom, you may have difficulty finding your way back. Now, there is something to take into consideration. If you think that there's no rules, pretty much like Crowley would say, you know, that there's no rules, anything goes type of thing, you keep wandering down that path of darkness and debauchery and ruthlessness, you might find that that will weigh you down. And will you be able to find your way back to sort of righteousness, honesty, and being a more fruitful member of society? Very, very interesting. So rather deep and meaningful for a Wednesday afternoon. So that is the Zillich Tarot. I actually think it's beautiful. I do believe that this, not this particular one, because this one I want to read with, is another deck is going to find its way onto my walls. And my final purchase was a book. And this is a book that was, I was actually on one of the Facebook pages, and somebody was putting up tarot spells. And I thought, oh, tarot and spells? Although I've been doing quite a lot with tarot, spell work wasn't one of them. So I decided to have a look at this, and he had put up a spell for protection. And I thought, I actually like that. Now I have the 365 tarot spreads, and by the same author there is 365 tarot spells. Because when I thanked the person for putting it up, saying, is it okay if I use it? And they said, yes, go ahead. Don't thank me, thank the 365 spells. Now, I looked at this book and I did see it on Amazon, and I thought, will I put it in my cart this month or won't I? Will I wait till next month? And I thought, no, I better wait till next month, or I can ask for it for my birthday, which is later on this month. But when I walked into the Atlantis Esoteric bookstore on Museum Street in London, there this book was, sitting on a shelf, a few pounds cheaper than what it was on Amazon. And I thought, I was meant to have that. Not the other day, but today. And here we go. It's the book, 365 Tarot Spells. It's written by, where are we? Oh my goodness, Sasha Graham. How can I forget? Sasha Graham. It says it on the side and all. Creating the magic each day. So let's have a look what the blurb says on the back. Enhance your personal power with a tarot spell for every day of the year. Discover the beautiful tapestry of tarot and magic, woven together to improve your life through daily spells. Tarot is the perfect magical tool, and 365 Tarot Spells provides everything you need to manifest your desires and make your soul's intention a reality. This accessible guide shows you how to achieve your goals with spells for family and home, money and career, creativity, health and well-being, love, letting go, luck, chakra opening, seasonal and witchy enchantments, protection, travel, sleep, and personal growth. Each spell is based on a significant historical or magical occurrence on that particular day and is accompanied by a list of ingredients, visualizations, meditation, incantation, card layout, and more. Immerse yourself in the energy of all 78 tarot cards with connection rituals. Cook with magical intention using a variety of recipe-based spells. An ideal companion to the 365 tarot spread, this book offers spells for every calendar date and can be cast with any deck. Experience the wondrous interconnectivity of magic and tarot and reinvent yourself in this process. Sasha Graham teaches tarot classes and produces tarot events at New York City premier cultural institutions, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art. She has shared her love of tarot on film, television, radio and print. She lives in New York City and visit her online at sashagraham.com. And there we are. We're in October now. So next week on my birthday, which is October the 20th, I just thought I'd put that out there, given I am going to be spending my day in hospital. So, what spell do we have here? Spell to scare away monsters. Well, that might be a good one to use, because ill health itself can be a bit of a monster, and hopefully, if I carry out this spell, it'll scare any ill health monster that might be rearing its ugly little head. So, ingredients, we need the Queen of Wands card for that. Method is visualization and meditation. Your incantation, beasts of wild, monsters beware, I banish you, don't harm a hair. Vanish your power, you aren't even here. By my word, this room is clear. I'm going to take my Queen of Wands from a deck that I will ponder over which deck I'm going to take. I'm going to take that inside a little notebook with that incantation and carry it out while I'm waiting for them to call me through, for them to do a biopsy. Oh, the joys of life. But today, where are we today? Today is the 13th of October, and today is Energize Your Career Mars spell. And this, you need, your ingredients is the Two of Wands, the Tower, and the World. Your method is visualization and meditation, and your incantation, fire and passion clear the way. Bring on the change. Today's the day. Explosive energy is the key. I can finally be free. And you put your cards 1, 2 and 3. So the Two of Wands represents a career holding pattern. The Tarot card is ruled by Mars. The Tower card is ruled by Mars. The World reflects you in full empowerment at work, being in the moment and doing what you were born to do. So there's quite a lot in this book, and I think just like the decks I've bought, just like my scrying mirror, this book is going to be interesting, enjoyable, and something of a mystery. And don't we all love mysteries? So people, on that note, I have gone on quite a long time. It's an hour long. I hope you're not bored stupid. I hope you've managed to stay till the end. Thank you if you have, and if you haven't, don't worry about it. Maybe you'll come back and visit another time. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, whatever you may be doing, and I hope this video finds you all healthy, happy, and enjoying being this side of the grass. Take care. Bye for now.